Hi guys, welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner meal ideas. So this looks a little bit different to start out here. I'm just showing you guys something I actually learned from my brother's girlfriend. I go through a lot of celery in the mornings. I like to juice it. So after I was done with a celery stalk, I would just cut it to the bottom and then soak them in water until they began to sprout. So here I have 4, and this is just my husband in our garden starting to plant it. So as you can see, he just kind of dug out little holes and kind of put a little bit of dirt around them, and then he used some of the water in the pot to water them. So next up here, I'm just going to be showing you guys a little bit of a garden tour. We have a really big garden this year, and I just thought you guys might want to see it, as a lot of our vegetables I use in different meals in this video and others. So just a brief overview, we have lots of onions, we have a pea plant with beautiful pea blossoms and pea pods, a little bit of corn, some cherry tomatoes, regular tomatoes, lettuce. We also have lots of squash as well as some zucchini. So you guys can just sit back, relax, and watch this. I also have our sunflowers thrown in here. They bloomed very beautifully this year and were 12 feet tall. And now, welcome on back to regularly scheduled programming. So I'm starting off our What's for Dinner by making some beef stroganoff. Here I'm just showing you our ingredients. We've got some beef consomme, cream of mushroom, a dark wine, and of course our sour cream. It wouldn't be a stroganoff without it. Now here I'm just browning my stew meat with some water in the pan, and then I just added in my chopped onion and garlic. Once that is cooked a little bit thoroughly, I add in some beef consomme, and then I like to add in my wine, as well as a little bit of water to thin it all out. After this has sat for a while, I like to add in my cream of mushroom as well as my actual mushrooms, and then just stir that around and let it cook for a while. I love to cook my beef stroganoff on a slow simmer for about an hour or so until my meat gets nice and tender and delicious. So here was our meal. I just paired it with some simple broccoli and it was scrumptious. The next night we just had some sweet corn. It's very in season, it being summer and all, and this was an especially good one. And then I also just made some homemade cauliflower cheese soup. I have put this in a previous What's for Dinner video, so you guys can just go check that out if you want. But yeah, this was our meal for this night and it was delicious. Now the next night I'm just starting by cooking together some potatoes as well as some Brussels sprouts. We love Brussels sprouts in this house lately. I'm just making some country fried cauliflower steaks. This is pretty self-explanatory, but firstly I did boil my cauliflower for a little bit just to soften it up so it would actually fry and cook thoroughly. And then I just dipped it in some egg wash and then coated it in some flour. You know, for this part you could also just use breadcrumbs, flour, whatever you would like, and then I just put some seasonings on top for some flavor. And then I paired it with some pre-made biscuits and some white gravy, and then I made a little salad from the garden on the side, and then we also had some delicious little potatoes and Brussels sprouts with an orange to spice it all up. So this was a really good meal. I would recommend you guys try it. It's very unique and very different. Now the next night I just made some homemade spaghetti sauce, and then I topped that on a spaghetti squash that I just cut in half. But I also had spaghetti noodles on hand too, so we kind of just had a half and half squash, half noodles. But boy, was it delicious. We loved it. And my husband had his on macaroni noodles. And then later that night for dessert, I just made some zucchini muffins with our zucchini from the garden, and those turned out super good too. Now this next night is another quite unique recipe. I decided to make some green bean casserole, but put a little bit of a spin on it, or should I say on top of it. So I just prepared my normal green beans, except this time I put some wax beans in there too, just for a little bit of differentiation. And then on top of these green beans, I'm just cooking up some tater tots to top them with. So this is a classic green bean casserole, but then have some delicious cooked tater tots on top of it. So it's kind of like a combo, green bean casserole, tater tot casserole. Choose your pick, because this is a nice combo. So this was super good. I really loved it, guys, except this night I accidentally bought an off-brand cream of mushroom, and I would definitely not do that again. And I topped it with some sour cream, and then we had a biscuit on the side with some watermelon and a delicious little salad. I would definitely recommend you guys try this. It was kind of a unique little spin. Now the next night, I'm just making a homemade delicious lasagna. This is my spaghetti sauce that I made purely with garden tomatoes, and boy does that make the difference, you guys. I have never had a lasagna as good as this one. I also have some meat in that sauce to spice it up. So I basically just lay some cottage cheese on my lasagna noodles, and then I put on that delicious saucy mixture, and then kind of coat it with some shredded cheese and noodles, and kind of just repeat the process. So you guys can just watch this delicious lasagna come on all together. So this is my final slice of lasagna for the plating, and then I just paired it with some green peas. Now the next night we went out for dinner. I got a turkey club sandwich. My husband and my daughter got a sirloin with some shrimp on top. It wasn't the best, and honestly sometimes I feel like it's better just to eat at home. But what can I say? Everybody needs a nice night off now and then, right?